This is Gareth Southgate, and this is the Three Lions podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Three Lions podcast. My name is Russell Osborne.
Russell?
Yes? Hello?
It's Steve. Somehow I've sort of...
Steve?
I've cracked into the podcast somehow, the Three Lions podcast. I seem to have hacked into it on the telly. It's here.
But it's audio. How am I on the telly?
I don't know. It's somehow I've brought you up. I don't know. Basically, I'm trapped. I'm in 1996.
96?
I know this is going to sound really weird, but I mean, look behind me, posters.
That's Newcastle with the old 96 shirt, the grandad collar. Is that Gareth?
It is. Look how young
playing
he
for
is.
Villa. What are you doing? 96?
Yeah, I don't know myself, mate. I've got no idea what's going on. But basically, I'm stuck.
We're 2020.
Yeah, well, I'm not. I'm stuck in 96 somehow. I've got no idea what's going on. It's Euro 96. There's a wall chart behind me, which I've found. I've just woke up. I woke up in 96. There's been some really weird things happening recently. As you can see, I wouldn't normally wear this.
What, the bucket hat? And you appear to have a similar goatee to me.
I need your help because I need to find out why I'm here in 96. I've got to find out why I've been placed in this era. I mean, I've already lived this once. This is where it all began for me when I was 9. And it's happening again. I don't know why I'm here. Maybe I'm here to change the results. I don't know. They always say time travel you should never mix with.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it. As much as I want to say touch it, you never know what could happen.
So, but I've got to be here for a purpose, and I don't know why. But I know that you were, and your first game was at Euro 96.
Let me take you back. The 90s, 1996. It was an era of Britpop, wasn't it? Football's coming home. Tony Blair. Everything was going on. Oasis, Blur. They were both at it in the charts. But the football, Euro 96, football came home for the first time in 30 years. And England had a chance of winning it on home soil. Now we started off really slowly against Switzerland. 1-1. It was Alan Shearer. He hadn't scored in ages, and he scored. And Switzerland equalised late on. No one was particularly happy. The performance wasn't good, but we moved on to the old enemy. Scotland were next. Holland were in our group as well, but we had to beat Scotland. And I had a ticket for my first England game to go and see England against Scotland.
What was the atmosphere like?
Atmosphere was absolutely electric. I was sat behind the goal with the Scots, and there were thousands of them. There were loads of Scots. They were just to my left, and they were absolutely up for it. As were the England fans, as the game went on, 0-0 at half-time, I must have lost my voice going through it. I had a flag. I was waving it as my St. George's cross. 0-0 at half-time. England then went ahead through Alan Shearer. And at my end, Scotland were awarded a penalty. Tony Adams brought down a Scottish player. Scotland had the chance to equalise. David Seaman was in goal. Big David Seaman in his yellow goalkeeping outfit in the blazing sun against the green grass of Wembley. David Seaman dives and it comes off his elbow over the bar. And Tony Adams runs and kisses David Seaman. 90 seconds later, the ball's gone up the other end of the pitch. Paul Gascoigne, who was currently at the time playing for Glasgow Rangers, goes up against Colin Hendry, who was his Rangers teammate. One touch, over he goes, over Hendry's head. Another touch, onto the volley, past Andy Gorham, his Rangers teammate goalkeeper, for possibly the goal of the tournament, the goal of the century, and England went through 2-0.
Has there ever been any better goal than the Gaza goal, do you think, in certainly in any European Championship?
There's been good goals, but none really as good as that.
When I was 9 in '96, I was at Cub Scout camp. So I only remember hearing about it whilst I was in the camp, and the murmurs going on around the campsites where people were, I think it was on the radio in different places. People had brought battery radios, and you could hear people talking about it, because there was no phones. Like, there's no phones now where I am. There's phones. In fact, I found this. This is the phone that
State of that.
Right. So obviously in 2020 we can watch. Look at your phone, right? So you could have gone anywhere and watched the game on your phone. These are useless, by the way. They don't do anything. What did the rest of the tournament have in store for you as a fan in '96?
So back in '96, as I say, I went to the Scotland game. '96 is quite a year for me, because I turned 18 and I actually went away on my first holiday without my parents, which was shortly after that Scotland game. So I do remember where I was watching the next game, Holland game, and then the Spain game in the quarterfinal. So the quarterfinals against Spain. I was on holiday in Turkey with a very good friend of mine, watching England in a bar abroad, few beers, and then coming home to watch the semi-final, which unfortunately we all know how that pans out. But I watched that at home, and it was just like 6 years before. Tears were streaming down my face that night.
It should have been different.
Could have been different. And Gaza again, that close to putting it in with his studs.
Because it was golden goal as well, right?
It was. We would have gone straight through. But as it happens, it ended 1-1, and we went then to the dreaded penalties that we all know about.
What should I do? I'm here, and there must be a reason I'm here. Surely I can't. People don't just disappear. I mean, I've got no idea whether I'm still functioning around, walking about in 2020 right now or not. All I know is I am definitely in '96. Euro '96 is definitely happening right now. We are reliving. It's Euro '96 relived.
I would suggest you go and practice your penalties and try and get into the England team as quickly as possible, because we may need you come the semi-final.
What hazards did you embark on in your journey across Euro '96, other than penalties?
I can't remember.
Other than the hazard of wearing hats like this?
Nothing wrong with a good bucket hat, I don't think.
That's probably because you were 18 in '96. So to you, it's modern. But to me, I'm looking at this, I'm like, this is not right. This is the sort of thing my dad would wear on his fishing trip.
I think you can get away with that in '96.
Well, that's good, because the clothes aren't getting any better, I must say. I've taken a look at the wardrobe, and it's not good. But I've got to blend in. Luckily, blending in isn't too hard in 1996, because everything's full of colour and weird and baggy, and everything's just like, put it on, you can do whatever you want, except for labels and brands. What's that about?
So that's the way it was. You would wear it emblazoned across the front of your shirt, be it Timberland, Paul Smith, Oakley, Ralph Lauren. Everything was branded and emblazoned across the front. You showed it off.
Well, there's one thing that I have found, which is interesting, which I'll show you. I found my old sticker books from when I was 9 years old, and they're here.
Go on. Look at that. A Merlin Euro '96 sticker album. I didn't have that one.
And I found this one.
Another one. A Panini one.
I had both of these when I was 9 years old.
Amazing.
And
people,
when I looked in them, I've got my name just there, written on it. When I went
there it is.
I didn't lose it when I went to school. But there's not many stickers in it.
This is your opportunity now
My opportunity to
to complete
change
the
it,
album.
because I found some of the stickers are there.
Wow, look at the haircuts.
So that's, I think maybe I need to be trying to get some stickers now to fill these up.
Possibly. And then you can engage with other people at the same time and swap those stickers and get their feelings and thoughts.
So it's not exactly stopping a war or anything, but maybe that's my destiny. Maybe one of my destinies is to fulfill my sticker album that was never completed when I was 9 years old. That could be something. So next up for me is Holland. We all remember what happened there. So I'm in for a treat. And one thing which I'm trying to secure, because I've realised this is my opportunity to do what you did when you were 18 and you got to that Scotland game. This is my opportunity to finally go to a game and watch it live.
You can get yourself a ticket.
That's what I'm going to try and do. I mean, how was it hard to get tickets in 96?
Fairly easy. I got my ticket quite easily. I got it through a bank, of all things. I had to apply through a bank.
In 2020, it's very different.
Oh, now, yes, of course. Obviously, you know, we have to apply through official channels, and there's apps and various computer websites to get tickets from. But I think it is so close to it now. I think your best bet might be a tout, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. Touts were then in 96. Touts are still around now.
That's a good point. So things haven't changed that much then in some ways. While some things change, some things stay the same. Maybe I'll be lucky and someone will give me a ticket or something. Who knows? I've got to be there and I've got to experience what it's like. Well, I think the telly's had enough. It's sort of, it's a bit static.
Oh, ouch! Careful.
Yeah, it's quite hot actually. So I'm going to have to go. But I don't know if I'll see you again in 2020. I really don't know what's going to happen. Maybe if I don't complete whatever challenge, whatever reason I'm here for, maybe I'll be stuck here. But I just don't know. Hopefully somehow I'll make my way back and finally football can come home.
Let's hope so. Safe travels.
With me. Bye, Russell.
See ya.